Claudia from Clauphemism. Clauphemism. Feminism? Well, you know what I mean, I'll just pop it in here.
If you know me from Instagram, you'll know already I'm passionate about painting, lettering and journaling. And what we will see today is how to turn one of your memories into a unique and harmonious theme for your journaling pages. You do not need to be already a daily user of a Bujo or a planner to enjoy this. The procedure and pages I will show you today are perfect for a personal journal or a one-time project whenever you want to organize or track something while embedding forever your memory into it. We'll see 3 main steps and examples to help you turn your memory into a unique and personal journal spread. To turn a memory into your journal spreads, first we need a memory. And the memory I choose as an example for this workshop is my summer trip to Frigiliana, a beautiful small town in the south of Spain, characterized by white houses, cozy plants and colored doors. So bring this memory back to life. You'll need some pictures, videos, postcards and any kind of memorabilia or souvenir from that place or that moment in time. I got a few pics and clips and the lovely hand-painted ball decorated in the typical style from Malaga. Apart from our memory, we'll also need a journal, possibly with thick pages, especially if we are painting, a brush pen for titles, fine liners for writing and drawing, and then your favorite medium for coloring, in my case acrylics or gouache, so of course you'll need some fine paint brushes, but also we can and we will be using colored markers. Last but not least, we also need some paper for our color palette and a pencil for sketching. My first suggestion to get inspiration and a theme out of your memory is deriving a color palette. Try to narrow down the most salient and relevant shades from your pictures and videos. These colors will need to remind us of the place or moment we're trying to recall. But also keep in mind that they shouldn't be too many. Your color palette will be your guide to keep the theme harmonious and consistent throughout different pages. So you want something that will be easily brought into the picture, right? You don't want to come back to 15 different colors and try to fit all of them into your theme. In my case, I usually pick 5 to 9 colors. And in this case, I've done it first with markers and then created an equivalent with gouache. Now, the first spread that can really be a reminder of your memory is a cover page, so the presentation page of your month or project. For this cover page to recall our memory, we will look for the most salient elements or symbols from our trip. A salient element is characteristic and easy to isolate, and in this case, doors and plants or flower pots would be a very good pick. Let's start. My journal is from Notebook Therapy and has rather thick pages, 160 GSM. First, I did a quick sketch of my salient elements. A big door like one of those from my pictures and a beautiful green and purple flower pot like the one you see in this pic here. The sketch does not have to be detailed, it is just a guide for our painting. To create your unique page, do not copy a picture. Mix together elements from different takes. I've added an awning on the top and a small lamp on the side. The awning would be a good position for a title, but it could also be the center or the bottom. I'll use gouache to paint my page. So I will also need some water, some paper for drying the excess of paint from the brush and a spray bottle filled with water. I'll use this to revive the gouache every now and then. Gouache dries rather quickly, but it can come back to a very good texture with a bit of water. To try and reproduce the fresh and peaceful feeling of my pictures, I'll play a bit with the colors to create the color palette that I showed you before. Don't be afraid to mix colors and you'll know when you find the good ones. To start painting the bigger areas like the door, I'll use a medium flat brush. Once we are done with the base layer of color, we need to wait until it is totally dry before starting painting with another color on it, or the colors will mix up. So I'll try to paint around it in the meantime. The color doesn't have to be perfectly homogeneous. We're painting doors and walls and hood, so it's good if the colors are not perfectly blended together. Oh, I forgot to introduce you to someone. Say hello to my baby hair. They love to burst into the picture and enter the scene when I'm getting really focused on something. So hey, let's see if you can guess how many times they lean through today. I'll put a baby hair counter here on the left to keep score. So 1. Once the paint is dry, we can add some details with some fine brushes. The paint should not be too watery to avoid mixing with the color below. But if you want to get a blended, mixed kind of effect, you can add some clearer paint with some water and mix the two colors a bit, like I'm doing here with white. Let's add some details to the beautiful blue of the door. First, I try it on my color palette, and then, once I'm sure it's dry enough, I'm gonna make some loose lines on the door. It doesn't have to be perfect. Time to paint the leaves and flowers in the pot. I'll use a slightly bigger round brush so that I can use it to shape the leaves. With quick, irregular strokes of green paint, we get a pretty realistic leaf effect. Don't worry about going over the other colors, mix together darker shades of green and clearer ones. using now this beautiful magenta for the flowers, we make sure all of the main colors of our coloring palette are covered. Again, we will use some watery white paint to add some light and texture to the stone and the wood. I'm now adding some more blue paint until the white is blended in. Time to add some writing with the brush pen. I'll write the 21 for 2021 as if it were the door number, and the title for my cover page, which will be for the month of August. Here we go. We got the color palette and the salient elements of some of our memory and put them into this unique cover page, which really reminds me of Rigiliana and my trip. Now, the other recommendation I have to make spreads inspired by your memories is looking for patterns. Any element that can be easily reproduced and could often be found repeated is a good candidate. Vases, flowers, doors. And once we have a few elements that could be reproduced quickly and arranged in an almost geometric pattern on the page, we can use them to create our second spread, a super original tracker. I'll make a mood tracker, which is used to track your mood with a color every day depending on how you feel. But you can do any type of tracker. Let's get a new page and calculate a bit of space on the top for the title, and then a bit of space at the bottom for the legend, which will tell us what meaning any color will have. In the center, we'll reproduce one of our chosen repeatable items for each day of the month. First, draft where each item will be with a pencil to organize the space. It's not always easy to fit 30 doodles in a page. And looking at my pictures, the items I chose were doors, vases hanging on the walls, pots, and a couple of ceramic plates. So let's try and draft everything so that 30 items will be on our page. These drafts and doodles do not have to be too realistic, they just need to remind us of the items and patterns of our memory. Make sure you get 30 or 31 depending on the month. And once you're happy with the arrangement, get some fine liners and draw your doodles. I'm using a 0.1 and a 0.5 mm tips. You can choose to add more or less details. Just keep taking inspiration from your pictures. Apart from these lovely hanging pots, ceramic plates hanging from the walls are also very typical in Spain. So I added 3 and decorated them just like my little bowl with some little flowers and leaves. Let's do our legend. For each emotion that I want to track, I will color each vase or door in a different color. At the end of the month, it's very useful for me to have a look at how much stress or relaxed day I had. The moods I like to track are stress, worry, calm, happy, sad, and angry. Of course, there's a lot more, but these are the ones that I find useful to track. Since this is something you'll track every day, you can use markers for coloring. But remember, keep our color palette in mind. Then, let's pick some of the colors and use them for our title. And here is your unique mood tracker inspired by your trip. The last spread I want to show you will be a different gratitude log. It's a page to keep track of what you're thankful for, but I like to do it with some special prompts to help you think. And in general, I think it's a very useful mindfulness exercise. And once again, we will look for patterns. In particular, if you have something decorated in a typical style, like my bowl. First, a sketch, title at the top, drawing at the center, and then all the prompts will be on the sides. So 1, 2, 3, and then another 3 on the other side. Now we will use the pattern from my memory to do a banner, which is one of my favorite ways to do a header. First of all, let's create a long rectangle at the top of the page with some washi tape. we will be painting inside this rectangle and it will become our header. My little bow from Frigiliana has a very simple and lovely pattern, some blue flowers and green leaves. So we will reproduce this to decorate our page. And of course, we will pick colors from our color palette. I'm using gouache again, so to reactivate it, I'll spray some water on it. Then I'll use my medium round brush to do some little petals. The design is rather simple, so I won't worry about being too precise. I'm doing some loose circles for the petals, and then we will do some simple green strokes for the leaves. Let's just try to reproduce the feeling of this pattern. Painting the leaves first with one olive green stroke, then with a darker green on. And lastly, with a thinner brush, the stems. When everything is dry, time to take the tape off. Our header is ready, and I really love the result, matching my little bow. Now let's use the brush pen for writing our header. Different gratitude log. And to really make the title pop over the pattern, I like to do the outline with a white gel pen, like I'm going to show you here. Now, here are the prompts that helped me think of situations I could be thankful for. First, what's something positive that you did not expect at all? What or who helped you with a hard task? Then, what was something that hurt but made you realize something important? And for the little things, what was a message or text that made you smile? And one that is very important for me, what can you thank your body for this month? Our bodies do a lot of work and sometimes we do not acknowledge it to them. Last but not least, what is something that could have gone worse? Because we also need to acknowledge that. To decorate the page, we will put a drawing in the center, and all the prompts will be coming from it like sun rays. And to pick the drawing, once again, we will look for salient elements from our memory, like one of the beautiful doors. While for each one of the prompts, we will use one of the pieces of patterns or little elements as bullet points. Let's start with sketching our door. I'm going to do this beautiful light blue one and add some plants and flower pots. And for the icon-like images for the bullet points, I'll do some of those beautiful hanging vases. Once again, gouache for painting. Remember, first do a base layer and only start mixing color or adding details when the base layer is completely dry. To paint simple plants and leaves, I like to start with my round brush with a lighter hand, and then push it a bit, so that the brush belly makes the form of the leaf, like I'm showing you here. Never forget to go back to your color palette and see if any color is missing. This will ensure that all your pages are harmonious. I'm now going back to my original pic to add some details on the door. With a simple gel black pen, we'll now go writing down the prompts that we saw together before. And here we go! Our different gratitude log is now forever reminding us of our trip and the beautiful things that we have seen. I really love this title, I hope you do it too. So yes, this was a lot. Thank you so much for watching. And if there's anything you want to ask or give feedback on, please just reach out on my Instagram, Clauphemism. And with so many amazing classes in the retreat, please consider getting unlimited access to all of them using my referral code. The link is in the bio on my Instagram page. This way you will get amazing content for an honest price and will be also supporting me and the other artists. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this and to see you soon.